install thermostat, feed the dog, because, we can't play games all the time. Don't want to be responsible. Um, as you've seen in previous videos, the multiplayer search takes a minute. Um, if you look over there on the left, we put it on normal. Now, being level 18, I should be looking for hard. Um, the major differences in the difficulty is the number of Zeds, um, how much, how many hit points they have, how much damage they do. The harder the difficulty, they do get new attacks with each rise in difficulty. Um, you get less dosh, less ammo, so you got to make it count, which is kind of the upside being a field medic in the harder parts, even though you'll find yourself running out of ammo, but your primary purpose is to keep everybody healed and alive, and I promise they'll keep you on your toes. I'm not sure what else to tell you other than until we get in the game. Which always takes forever. I don't think it took this long to find a session in Grand Theft Auto. um, when you just don't know what to say. It's a struggle. Idealistically, if you get a well-balanced group and everybody keeps together but keeps moving, works best. The nightmare is when everybody splits up. And if you're lucky, they'll only split into two groups and they won't be all too far from each other. If everyone goes their own way, I guess acting like they're invincible, because even if you're not a medic, you can still heal yourself. I don't know, I guess it just doesn't dawn on some people that even though you can heal yourself, you can't heal yourself as well as having a medic available. And you do have to wait for your syringe or whatever to, I don't know, there's a cooldown time on it. So, but they just like to think they're invincible. So when you get people like that, don't feel bad if they die. Just let them run off, do their thing, die. If they get pissy with you because you weren't there to heal them because they left the rest of the group and ran all the way to the other side of the map, that's on them. Now, if they get accidentally separated, by all means, make the effort to get to them. And it's also, when you get your group, of course, it's always good if you got yourself a headset and a mic. I lucked out a couple of years ago and I got these Turtle Beach headphones that have been really awesome, really phenomenal. The sound is great. This game is actually in surround sound if you have the right headset, which these are. So, while I'm here playing, if there's a siren behind me to the left, then I hear her behind me and to the left, so I know which way to turn. So it's really awesome. So that, on top of the ability to communicate with your teammates, is invaluable. So I guess while we're waiting, we look at these perks real quick. Field Medic's perks. How you set it up is always, and I'll tell you this no matter who you are, what class you're playing, it's always dependent on what you're comfortable with. You see I have this symbiotic health up, which was what I was talking about in the last video. If I heal, I get an extra 25% health right off the bat, and that's my max is 125. And then when I heal my teammates, it gives me 10% of my total health. So 12% of my health. 10% of 125. So it'll give me 12 or 13 health. um, for each heal. So if I hit them with 3 darts, I can get back a third of my life. So it's really, as long as you're keeping everybody alive, you'll stay alive. I mean, even if you're out of ammo and you're under heavy attack, just keep everybody else healed. It'll keep you healed. Uh, Now, if I were going solo all the time or whatever, um, would go to the other side, um, which I don't know. That's the less health you have, the more resistance to damage you have. But I don't like running low on health, so I've thought about doing the adrenaline shot, but it's been more important to me to be able to move faster so that I can get to people in time, run across the field and everything. And it always helps to have extra ammo. So, uh, and then down here you get to 15. This is where I was talking about the acid rounds where your regular bullets can poison the Zeds. So I do that to help. Um, Although I have been thinking about using this one. Just to help take some of the baddies down a little faster. But the reason I haven't is because most of the groups that I've been in, I don't know, I've seen like berserkers and commandos and classes like that should be up on the front lines dealing the damage, and I've seen them like fall back and like, oh, you guys are like, I have come out of rounds as a medic with more kills than the top 2 tanks combined, or even a tank and a DPS combined, just because they're running away from the fight, and I gotta cover myself. And sometimes the best way to help somebody besides healing them is to kill whatever's damaging them, because they're not smart enough to turn around. And I don't know, I ain't figured it out yet. But so I just use the acid rounds, and then that way I can hit multiple Zeds and they can all just start slowly ticking down. And no, so then by the time that they get to the tank, then the tank doesn't have to do as much damage to them. So, but other than that, not sure what else. It's practice, 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 by all means. It's really hard to make a training video for multiplayer when you can't get into a multiplayer match. I'm just going to go ahead and allow in progress just to get into a game. Really is. Don't get me wrong, there's a couple of parts that might get a little frustrating once in a while, but this is really the only frustrating part of the game, is waiting to get into a match. So we sit back and we drink our coffee. Then by the end of the match, you get a couple minutes break, and that's when you run off to have a bio break, call it. Typically what I do is I sit here and I open my blind like that. I throw on my flip-flops like this. Then I go outside like this, and I go to smoke a cigarette while I wait. Usually by the time I get into a game, I'm not done with the cigarette, it's closing out. And I have enough nicotine in my system, not worry about it. You will have to excuse some of the background. It's 4th of July weekend. Off the dogs nuts. God, this is ridiculous. Easier to get into a PvP game, which is where you as human heads. I guess a lot of people are going that route. But I kind of wanted to cover that in a whole different tutorial, and then I have to go back and edit the labels for this one, and blah 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 blah. So we will get to that. Playing as the Zeds gets pretty interesting, and it has a whole different kind of tactic. It's another one of those things where really you want the people on your team to be communicating and coordinated. Because really the common strategy there is where in survival you want to keep moving and keep moving and keep moving. Excuse me. But in the PvP, the strategy is apparently to put your back to the wall and get them all funneled down and keep it cleared out that way, which seems to be an alright strategy until you get somebody such as myself who knows what they're doing with the Zeds to come in and crash your party and then screw everybody up. So yeah, I actually wish I'd have recorded one the other day. We were on Outpost, which is one of my favorite maps. It's pretty wide open, it's easy to see, but the other team, there's a helipad area that there's one way in, one way out, and it's just a little doorway, and they were just mowing everybody down. But all the people that were playing as Zeds, apparently they didn't know how to block. Some of the Zeds can block the shots, which it doesn't negate the damage, but it does take it down drastically. So what I ended up doing was I got to be a whichever the one is that has a chainsaw or whatever. I blocked until I got all the way to the helipad, and I don't know, somewhere around 75% of my health, and then spun around a great wide circle and it spread all them out. And then there were 2 or 3 of them that weren't paying attention to me, and I took them down real quick, and the rest of them turned around and focused fire on me, which allowed the rest of the team to come up behind them, and then we eventually got them wiped out. Sometimes it just takes one good player, and that's what we're trying to do here with this channel, make more good players. Can't show you how to be a good player. So that's where I should be anyway. I just a little harder to concentrate on. A little harder to talk when you're playing on harder mode. Say 15 minutes we ain't even got into a game yet. It's crazy. There have actually been a couple of times they've told me you can't play a game because the server's full. The server is full. What? You know the server. I know, easier said than done, but so why are you sitting here waiting? You don't have anything better today. Hit like, hit subscribe, spread the word, share it to Facebook or wherever else. The goal is to live the dream. We need to get 10,000 views, and once we hit 10,000, it's just all downhill from there. Throw me a comment. Let me know what class you want to see next, or you know, what aspect of this game you want to see next, or what other game you'd like to see, uh, again, we have Black Ops 3. We have Resident Evil 5, one of the better ones, I think. Although, in fairness, I haven't played 7 yet. Let's see. We have Star Wars Battlefront. Maybe someday we'll get a video capture card and I'll plug in some of the older systems so we can play some old school stuff. I always like to tell people, if you really want to learn how to be a gamer, start from the beginning, just like everything else. You want to get better at being a gamer? Start with Pong. Start with, I don't know, Galaxian, Asteroids, Pac-Man. Work your way up. Go through the years. It's about developing hand-eye coordination, reaction speed. It's a lot of different aspects, but really the way to go instead of just jumping in. Like, I couldn't imagine if this was my first time playing video games and this was the first game I jumped into, I would be absolutely overwhelmed. Like, have no idea. And you know what? That's where I got to give props to Bubble Girl, because she really didn't play a whole lot of video games ever in her life, and she's had me training her own zombies. She's been doing really great. I'd really like to be able to play this one with her, but there's no option to split screen. So, have to get us another PS4 someday. Someday we'll hit the lottery. Someday we'll be forever. Yeah, whatever. Well, good Lord. Yeah, if you're not a patient person, this may not be the game for you. Once you get into a game, though, you're not alright. It's just getting in. Look at this. Yeah, alright, I've already gone outside and smoked a cigarette, and well, now we're all 18 minutes in. Good grief. Dum, 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 dum. Guess I'm gonna have to get a message to the developers or whoever and say, hey, look, why don't you make it easier to find a game? I haven't tried Suicidal yet. 1325, I'm right in the middle. Let's give it a shot. Why not? Worst case, I get into a game, right? See, there you go. Alright, so we have another field medic, so that's good. 2 medics, a berserker, demolitionist, 2 demolitionists, and a SWAT. Alright, so your berserker should be your tank. Demolitionist and SWAT should be your DPS. So, let's see what we got going on. Oh, it's a long one too, so. See what everybody's doing. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, we've got somebody out here on his own. Berserker just berserking away. Behind you, King. Yeah. See another field medic here. There goes Berserker. Physician, heal thyself. SWAT slow. Well, looks like this may end up being a pretty good tutorial after all. 2 Zeds left. Alright, so.
Nicely done. They did not lay a claw on you. I'm impressed.
So, as I said before, that little healing dart, that alternate, so you can heal your teammates. It'll heal me. Let's go that. And
On the scope. Must close the pod very soon.
a couple of those. And not much, but we'll get some more dash this round.
Fix it.
So, yeah. So, now if you see on the bottom right, when you shoot a healing dart, so you have your, where it says 60 and 200. 60 is what's in the clip, 200 is how much you have total. The 200 above that is your healing darts. When you shoot one, it takes some off, so you gotta wait for it to come back up before you keep going. Don't want to get too far away from our group. So we're going to start off doing some damage here. We're going to try to keep an eye on people here. So as I said earlier, as a medic, your primary goal is to keep everybody alive, not necessarily kill everything. And you do get dosh and experience and points for healing. So So, see, I didn't really panic even though I was getting hit because I have that perk where I get health when I give health. So I just healed myself by healing my teammate. So as I said, as long as you keep everybody alive, you'll be alright. It's really, you let them take the front, you just watch their back as best you can. Uh-oh, lost my teammate. There he is. Alright, let's go see if we can help everybody else. What I got going on? the pod opens, the medic weapons, as you upgrade them to get better ones, you go from the submachine gun to the shotgun to the assault rifle. The healing darts regenerate a little faster, and I think, I'm not sure, but you might get a little more points on them, or whatever it is.
Perfect. Pod is open again. Let's get you restocked. Don't think I didn't see you healing out there. Good work. Glad you made it back. Don't bleed on anything.
So, look, we have enough.
Stay on mission.
We're almost out of time. Make your choices.
Too bad we don't have anyone support.
Bonjour. Come and get your tools of trade.
Hammer, hammer.
I'll fix you. Last chance. I have
This
to
should
power
be some
down the
grenades
pod.
at least.
Can't have you dying on me.
How's everyone doing? Still in one piece?
Break time. Back to work. All Zeds inbound.
So yeah, so no more points, but it does refill faster. Splat. Don't do what I'm doing. I'm just separated from the group looking for ammo. So we're going right back right now. So.
But many Zeds remain.
Wait till I'm out of ammo. Okay. Ah. So.
Finish the last ones off. So I can
No one starts crying, okay?
This music's cool. Oh, sorry.
That was the last one. Get to the indicated
Damn.
pod for resupply. Glad you made it back. Don't forget anything.
So as I said, it doesn't take long. You just end up
Zed's on the way.
carry as much as you can because you're going to be running out of ammo. Wish I could get rid of that. It's just like one more point I could have the SMG too. That'd be awesome. But whatever.
You earned the money. Now spend it. I'm about to shut the pod. Bring up the trading controls and upgrade your gear. All Zeds on the scope. Back to it, mes amis.
As I said before, this is where it gets difficult and you have people splitting up, so hey, you do the best you can. shit. And they're everywhere. Man. Looks like everybody's going down. Shit. Oh shit. Nope, it's over. Ah. Well, it's kind of how I was supposed to do it. Hopefully you get the gist of it there. Field medic is difficult to handle, like I was saying. It gets more difficult the higher difficulties. So, and you know, I was hoping to show you on normal, but couldn't get into a game, couldn't get in on hard, so we go on suicidal. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit broadcast, and then you know, maybe I can at least get through a good round with these guys and get them to the end. Hopefully we'll see you online. Hopefully you learned something, put it to good use. Like, subscribe, comment, all that. Yeah, you know, I don't even have to go through all that. It's YouTube. What do you want? Have a good one.